Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. No test server marker here. We are not in the test server. We are on the live game where Siege has unlocked. It's actually a good point you got. I've been a bit all over the place the last little while for obviously personal reasons, and but you guys pointed out, right? They said, hey, Siege is coming on the 10th of July. Well, they added it to the game on the 10th of July, but they didn't activate it until today, which is the 11th. But hey, look, it's here now. So let's go take a look. We get our Siege starter gifts. So 250 mana orbs, 200 florins. There we go, grab them. Let's take a look. Welcome to the prep phase. I'm Arbiter now. I'm Arbiter. You are currently at peace with other clans, but the drums of war will soon sound. Prepare your clan's fortress for the upcoming battle together with your clanmates. Okay, we have got 1 week and 4 days, so 11 days to go. Today's Wednesday. Isn't it? No, today is Thursday. The days are hard, man. Days are hard. So it's going to be, yeah, so this should be kicking off on, imagine this timer's not quite right either. I think it will be the Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's looking like it is aiming to be Tuesday, Wednesdays, alternating with CVC. So 1 week you'll have CVC and then 1 week you'll have Siege. Interesting. It's sort of as I predicted. And I think it makes sense now that we know the timings of it. Right, let's click on this. Each building in your clan's fortress contains defense team slots. You and your clanmates will place your strongest champions in these defense team slots to protect your buildings from enemy attacks. Cool. To set champions in a certain slot, you'll need defense scrolls. We've got 2. I believe that this is always the same. Everyone in your clan just gets 2. And then you can also, we'll see it, I'm sure, soon, set up a reserve team, which will be automatically assigned to an empty spot somewhere in your fortress. So you want everyone to assign everything you can, and then it will sort of fill out some sort of more generic slots, I suppose. The more buildings you upgrade, the more defense team slots your fortress will have. And the more defense scrolls you and your clanmates will have. Okay, so as you upgrade more, you'll actually get more scrolls. That's good to know. Bonuses set in buildings up here will either strengthen your teams or weaken your opponents. To set them, the clan leaders and deputies need to spend mana orbs. Donate them to the mana orb cache to increase your clan's chance of victory. So if you are not a clan leader or deputy, for the big buildings, you cannot pick the bonuses. Only clan leaders and clan deputies can do that. And in order for them to do that, regular players, all the clan members, have to donate their mana orbs. You should not do that on day 1, though. Don't do it on day 1, because you also need mana orbs. You also need the mana orbs to activate bonuses for just the regular posts as well. So if you're going to be defending a post and you want to activate a bonus, that costs mana orbs. So you might not want to give them all to your clan leader. That's something for us to figure out over the next few days. So don't rush into stuff on day 1. We'll talk about what is safe to do. And we'll also start preparing some teams and stuff here in this video as well. Most buildings can be upgraded with florins. The higher their level, the more defense teams can be set in them. That's actually moving me up here. The more bonuses they have access to. Donate florins and watch them become unassailable obstacles for your enemies. I actually do think that it's safe enough to donate these florins on day 1. You cannot, these are used to upgrade buildings. You can't upgrade anything until your fortress, your stronghold is level 2 anyway. So there's no point in donating to other buildings. The one reason maybe to keep some florins is to repair your buildings if they get destroyed when it's attacked. That obviously won't happen until we actually get into the fight. But yeah, I think you're pretty safe, honestly, to donate your florins on day 1 to the stronghold. But it's not going to make a difference. There's no real need to do it either. If there's 30 members in a clan with 200 florins each, you only have 6,000 florins. You need 10. I'm blocking that. You need 10,000 florins to get this to level 2 anyway. So even if everybody donates every single florin they have, it's not going to matter. So you might as well hold on to them for now. But I think there's probably not a big problem trying to get your stronghold to level 2. That's the only reason to save them, is if you need to repair buildings, if your buildings get destroyed. So yeah, cool. During the prep phase, you can also set your reserve team. This backup squad will be automatically set in an empty defense team slot at the end of the prep phase. I'm not sure if that will always happen. Maybe there won't be any empty ones. It's not entirely sure. Each siege phase lasts a set amount of time. When the prep phase ends, you'll be matched against an opponent. You'll try to conquer your fortress. Make sure you're prepared. I believe it's sort of based off of CVC ranks and clan ranks for the first one. But yeah, like if we put in a reserve team, like if I put in these guys, it's gonna lock them out. So I don't think we want to do that. I don't think we want to set that quite yet. Well, let's actually see. Let's put in a good reserve team. Let's put in. Let's put in something pretty strong. Let's put in, I don't know, like these, and we could put in, let's say, a Narcissus. Let's see what happens. So this should be pretty good. Like we'll go fast or lock them out. Let's put in like an Elva as well. That'd be a pretty strong, decent. Well, not crazy strong. It would be a decent team. I'm pretty sure we can take champions out of this. Well, let's see what happens when we click confirm. Are you sure you want to add them? They cannot be selected for specific defense team slots. So actually, let's not put that in case it locks us out. Actually, by doing that, it's removed the red dot. So now I don't have a red dot. I don't have a reserve team. I'm not going to rush into that. I think you can like remove them from your reserve team. You can cancel it. But just in case the reserve team gets locked in, you'd rather save your best champions for when you've talked to your clan and you've arranged where things go. Since here, you need minimum defense teams to actually get into a clan siege, which you definitely want to do. It's made it impossible to test it on the test server, of course. Yeah, look, here we are. So let's take a look. So for your Stronghold, let's take a quick gander at the bonus categories here that you might be picking. The Stronghold is the most important thing to keep alive. So we really don't want the Stronghold to go down. Now, let's see. It looks like we've got 500 of these in the pool right now. Our clan has 500 in the cache. 250. So let's do that. I believe we have just about enough. Yeah, you've got just about enough to activate a bonus on this. Let's just double check. Yeah, it should be exactly bang on. So 250 multiplied by 30. So if everyone donates all of their mana orbs, every single person, 30-person clan, every single person puts in all the mana orbs, you could get a bonus on your fortress straight away. But it's probably going to, I think it probably costs mana orbs. I'm not sure to change this after it's set. Again, we could not test anything properly on the test server. So you want to choose this pretty carefully. Defense teams so I think this is just, yeah, the defense team is just the teams you put in to defend. Right, so Tolarian League and Galen Pact reflect 30% of damage received. That's actually pretty strong, right there. That's actually pretty good for killing like attack nukers and stuff like that. They'll sort of kill themselves. That's actually not too bad. Bomb champions placed by HP and defense champions on the defense team deal more damage, and poison HP burns do more damage. That seems pretty weak. I wouldn't be looking at that. I mean, it's very strong, but the only bomb champion that scales off HP and defense right now is literally the brand new Demon Spawn Mythical that was just added to the game yesterday. It's unlikely you have him. That being said, if multiple people in your clan do have the new Demon Spawn Mythical Bomb Champion, this could be incredibly strong. It also ups poison and HP burn damage. That's potentially decent as well. In fact, it could be very strong. One slight problem is this is not Arena. I don't believe this counts as Arena. So you will not, I believe, benefit from Incinerate and Lethal Dose Blessings, which makes these not as strong as you would think. And also, of course, the enemy could just run cleansers and stuff. I say this is a skip for sure on defense, but it might be one to come back to later with more bomb champions. Could be good, but not right now. Force and magic champions destroy targets max HP by 30% of the damage inflicted. That's okay. There's some very, very strong force and magic champions like Harima. Lazarius is very strong as well. Some top tier stuff right there. Like some of them, a bunch of the mythicals. So that could be fairly decent. HP and defense champions on the defense team do 5% more damage for each buff on the target. That's not bad. So if you're using Narcissus defenses, again, or Harima defenses, Ragash, that sort of thing, that's actually pretty strong. Force and magic champions do 20% more damage if the target's less than 50% HP. And rare and epic champions ignore 20% resistance. I would say the big ones here would be either this reflect damage, but it does lock you into very specific factions, and you're going to miss out on really strong champions like the Shadowkin, Undead Hordes, like Demon Spawn. There's really strong defense champions there. But this could be very strong with like sort of Taurus Marishka defenses. That would be something I'd be looking at immediately. Would be like, okay, we could get that bonus up for our Stronghold. And I believe this applies. I believe this bonus applies to definitely this building. Does the Stronghold bonus apply to everywhere? That seems very strong, that first one. Make like Taras Marishka just as powerful as possible. Also, it makes like Arbiter stuff stronger, which is decent. Armans is from the Tolarian League Galen Pact, so it's not bad. And this also works very well with some very strong mythicals like Galathier, Siegfried. Siegfried, you wouldn't reflect much damage anyway. He'd just die pretty much. But still, you get the gist. That one looks pretty good. Maybe the other one would be HP Defense Champions, stronger. They're good defense teams anyway. So they'd be the two to look at for that one. That's worth considering. So I'd be saying, look, if your clan can organize and everyone will donate their mana orbs, that's something to consider. But don't rush into it quite yet. So that's your Stronghold. You definitely want to keep that alive. It's going to be worth defending these defense towers as well. These defense towers, you see it's much cheaper to activate the bonus. I believe the defense tower bonus only applies to the defense tower. The magic tower bonus is actually not that expensive either. Maybe, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Stronghold one must apply to every building. It must apply to every building, every defense in the whole place. I do think that could be worth it because, like I said, Taras, Marishka, Galathier, Siegfried is pretty strong, right? That's pretty good. Kaja is in there as well. Like, there's some great champs in those factions. Lazarius there's a lot of very good champs there. It's definitely worth considering. But you could just be trying to power up more of like your magic towers and defense towers. And you can get that up. I believe the magic tower, like this one, Magic Tower 4, would buff the Stronghold and both of these defense towers. So that's pretty powerful. Take a quick look at that. Crit damage force and magic champions on the defense team increased by 20%. The resistance increases. The accuracy goes up. They cannot land weak hits on enemies' HP defense on enemies under Hex. Turn meter fill effects increased by 50% when used by the defense team champions from Tolarian League or Galen Pact. That's very strong right there. That makes, again, your Arbiters, your Kajas a lot better. Not great defense champions, but they're there. Marishka does do turn meter boost. Marishka does, and so does Galathier. So this is very strong. Very, very strong. Ignore defense effects are increased when used by force or magic champions on the defense team. That's very strong as well. Force and magic champions immune to decreased defense. Force and magic immune to decreased attack. That's not too important. Rare and epic, no, you wouldn't do that. I would say the big ones here. More accuracy is okay, but it's only force and magic. It's maybe a bit niche. I think the turn meter stuff is very strong. I also think ignore defense is very strong as well. That gives you a ton of damage. That gives you an absolute ton of damage in these scenarios. And they almost rely on Harima to deal with that at all. So I think that one would probably be my go-to. Probably that one for that Magic Tower 4. Defense Tower 5, quick gander at this. I want to build some teams. Okay, so we can up crit damage. We can also nerf the defense team, so we can reduce their resistance. That's interesting. Not really worth doing. That could be interesting. Accuracy of force magic champions attack team is decreased by 50, but they can see this, so they can build those champions expecting that, or just not use those affinities. So that's maybe not that strong. HP and defense champions do less damage when teaming up with their ally attack, very niche. Turn meter fill effects are increased. You can decrease turn meter fill for the enemy team. That could be kind of okay. For Tolarian League and Galen Pact, again, that is nerfing your Arbiters, your Kajas, your Marishkas. It's not too bad. Don't trigger counterattacks with AoE. That's potentially very strong if you want to put... That's actually very strong, again, against Taras Marishka, which is going to be one of the most common teams attacking. Yeah, you won't trigger counterattacks with AoE, so you won't trigger the Taras counterattack, which is nice. Force and magic champions have a 10% of getting an extra turn. It's interesting. Turn meter force and magic champions on the attack team decrease whenever any champion in the attack team gets an extra turn. Very niche. Ignore defense effects. Decreased. That could be kind of nifty as well. Only for force or magic champions. What would we actually go for here? Let's make force or magic champions ignore more defense is probably the safest bet. That's probably the safest bet. The turn meter stuff is not as essential. I'd be again looking towards ignore defense, and I'm assuming this defense tower is probably the same. This bonus category 1, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, make the ignore defense stuff. Interesting, very interesting. To show you like a quick look at the posts, let's say post number 2, which is going to be one of the first ones that might be attacked. Okay, so this is, by the way, a cool thing. When I come into post number 2, when I start doing this, the game freezes for a second. I now have like 3 minutes where I can tweak this and nobody else in my clan can do it. So this is just to make sure that, you know, multiple people in the clan don't try to put in champions at the same time. So everyone else in my clan can no longer be adjusting post 2, at least while this timer is running. Now it's my turn to have a go, okay? But here you can see that I can set these conditions myself, so I can spend my mana orbs here. Like only HP champions, only champions from the Corrupted can be used. That's potentially quite strong. Only champions from the Nyrison Union can be used. That's potentially very strong as well. We're going to look at some of these examples. So 2 alliances, like multiple factions, or then only HP champions. That could be pretty powerful. Like I think especially mythicals start to become very strong here. Faction unity champions become very strong as well, and more combos are going to open up. This is a tricky one. Okay, what do we think is going to be the best strategy week 1? If you can get everyone to donate, you can get the bonus category unlocked in your Stronghold, which I think applies to everywhere. That might be a decent thing to do, because I think it buffs every building, and that's just probably unlocked for good, which is quite nice. I think that's quite nice, especially with, like I said, the Taras, Marishka, Galathir, that sort of stuff. Alternatively, boosting up, I would definitely be focusing on getting enough people to donate for the towers is going to be pretty powerful. Let's see the mana shrine. So yeah, you want to protect these mana shrines as well. Like that's sort of the key thing. You can sort of rip through these posts pretty quickly. Over here, we can see the entrance, and like this magic tower over here is quite vulnerable. It's going to buff up like posts nearby, but it's quite vulnerable. Same thing with magic tower. Magic tower 1 and 2 are kind of out there. Magic tower 3 is kind of out there as well. The juicy stuff, this mana shrine 1 is relatively easy to get to. Like you can smash through some posts, you can work your way up here. You got to get through a magic tower, but then you're around to the mana shrine. You don't have to hit a defense tower. That's not too bad. So I think getting into this right hand side and getting mana shrine 1 isn't too bad. Over this way, you have to get through. Again, you probably go through the middle, take out Magic Tower 2 to remove the buffs it's giving, so then you can take out Defense Tower 2, get up to this Mana Shrine. We definitely want to take these Mana Shrines on offense. So I think absolutely you want to probably have your team put pretty decent defenses into Defense Tower 2. Defense Tower 2 is like a choke point to hopefully hold people off and make it difficult for them to get to Mana Shrine 2. And this is going to have bonuses, so you definitely want to pick. I think it's pretty good effectiveness to put a bonus in here and to defend it. You could attempt to hold Magic Tower 2. It's gonna be tricky though to hold Magic Tower. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure this Magic Tower spreads its bonuses around, but it's very much undefended. Unfortunately, you can see definitely it's quite easy to hold a Stronghold. You got to get past defense towers. This Magic Tower, you definitely want to hold it. And like when this Magic Tower has a bonus up, it's spreading it to everything. So the strategy would be take down the weakest one of Defense Tower 4 or 5, take out the Magic Tower, and then get to the Stronghold. So you definitely want your strongest sort of defenses around here. Ooh, it's spicy. It's spicy. Yeah, of course, you know, if you try to work, it costs you a battle each time. One of these posts costs you a battle each time, trying to make your way around. The thing about the posts is you can kind of bypass them fairly effectively. So there is that. Post 12 looks pretty strong, actually. Post 12 is, let's see, what effects can we have on post 12? I'm just taking a look at this strategy stuff. Banner Lords only. Okay, this is potentially very good. Only support champions, not so strong. Only Tolarian League. I'll tell you right now, Banner Lords only. You want to put a strong defense here. This forces the attacker. This actually is probably fairly worthwhile. It's going to cost essentially all the mana orbs pretty much from one of your players. However, Banner Lords only, you put in like your biggest whale in your clan with their Taras Marishka. If they've got an Androck, it's not bad. If they've got Aesolin, the Stalwart, It's not bad. I wonder, can you even put in duplicates? If you can put in duplicates, like double Taris with Marishka, and then, I don't know, maybe, like I said, maybe Androck or something like that. You could do some fairly nasty stuff. The one thing to watch out for here, of course, I'd say is Rhonda on offense is quite strong. Rhonda can come in and lock out your passives, and just like she could come in and one-shot. That's the issue here. On defense, Rhonda could one-shot your Marishka, and that could be a problem. But this might be worth doing, having your biggest Kraken put like a crazy Taris Marishka defense in, and just letting them sort of stand strong, only be attacked by Bangalore. Again, my biggest issue is the Rhonda. But there's not amazing supports to go with her. That's the thing. There's not great supports. Like, what do you put with a Rhonda? Maybe you're probably your own Taris Marishka, I suppose, would be your best bet. It becomes a little bit difficult. Or you just attack it with your own Taris Marishka and let their Tarises kill themselves against... Yeah, That's definitely what... There's a lot. I think post 12 is pretty powerful. And bearing in mind, you could buff that up with this over here, which could be pretty good. Like you could... you can't nerf... Okay, you can make the... I was gonna say, if you could lower the ignore defense effects, that could be pretty powerful. If you could like lower Rhonda on the enemy team, but you can't do that. Okay, you could combo turn meter fill effects. You can make that. Okay. Yeah, interesting. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot. Let's take a look though. So generally speaking, okay, there we go. Now, what I recommend doing, let's jump over to a blindingly white spreadsheet. Let's full screen this bad boy as well. I think this is something that you can do yourself right now. That's just a little bit more focused on what you can do. And then you can fill this information in and bring it to your clan. So what are we going to do? It's pretty simple. It's just going, okay, let's look at some of these common conditions and let's build up some teams. So, okay, what about these Tellurian League and Galen Pact? Let's do it. Let's see what I can do. And doing this per faction as well, I think could be very, very useful. So, I mean, let's just do one really fast here and let's see. So let's say my Tellurian League. What is the best team I could do? So we'll include our Master Vault. Let's walk you through. Bannerlords, High Elves, Sacred Order, and Barbarians. Okay, this is my Tellurian League. What champions do I want to use? Well, Arman's Magnificent. He's a strong option. One of the problems is when you set a defense team, you cannot set up AI for them. And Arman's isn't very good on auto. That's going to be a big metagame, it seems, for this at the moment, until they might add in, like, set your defense AI. That's how it works in Arena. But it doesn't work in this, at least not yet, from what I've seen so far. So Arman's, for instance, although he can sheep someone and hard counter polymorph, if the enemy team comes in with even a couple of champions under Stone Skin, he's just going to spam A1s because he's an idiot, right? So Arman's on defense, he might struggle. He might genuinely struggle. It's probably still worth putting him in. Now, another thing to note, let's put in Arman's right there, is Arman's, his aura is for Arena. 28% speed in Arena battles, but here's the thing. I don't believe this counts as Arena battles either, so you can't use that aura. So we might want to get a speed aura from somewhere else. So yeah, Arbiter, likewise, it's a speed in Arena battles aura. So it's not going to help us here. I would say, actually, at a quick gander, my Tellurian League teams are kind of bad. You know, I'd actually say Kaja and Timid becomes a pretty powerful combo. I'm not going to lie. If you don't have... this is a combo that would be available to a lot of players. We could put in Kaja, Arman's, and Timid. Okay, now we've got a bit of a team. We've got speed boosting revive. We've got buff strip, a bit of crowd control. We've got lots of crowd control there. That's not bad. And then we could put in a damage dealer. And yeah, sure, obviously Taris Marishka is much better, but we can make that work. And we could put in a damage, let's say Staltus. He's a self-buffing damage dealer. And he's going to be pretty good against Rhonda, which a lot of people will have. We don't have a good increased attack for Rhonda. We right now have potentially a pretty strong team. Let's put in Staltus. And there we go. There's my Tellurian League team. How does my team look? Looks like a fairly budget team, I'll be honest with you. It's not too exciting. This is not too intimidating. You know, I'm seeing people come in, and you know, I could easily see people come in and be like, oh, okay, you've got like nice Timid Kaja team. Here's my Galathier team. Galathier with Taras and Marishka. And sure, what the heck, we'll throw in a Seek friend as well for good measure. We'll destroy you. So it's still useful, though, to come in and see what is the best I can do. And what you might even do is you could even, rank it. And let's even do that. Let's give it a ranking. This might be helpful. It might actually genuinely be helpful. So if we let's throw this over a couple of... In fact, let me cut this, seeing as I'm not doing it for this video. There we go. Let's put in like an extra chunk here. And let's call this... Oh, man, I didn't do this right. What are we going to do? Over here. Spreadsheet. Action. Ranking. 4. I'm not too keen myself on representing a Tellurian League defense for my clan. Let me pause it. Let me throw in one that I think is actually good, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've looked one up. So for me, support champions, I can actually put together a pretty powerful defense there because of something, well, you'll see in a second, but let's say support champions only. And guess what? Support champions, not the best in terms of damage. Lots of crowd control, but the damage is a bit limited, right? I'd say the one to watch out for this would probably be Seer, right? Seer comes in and she could just nuke. So that's potentially very, very strong. But I can put together a very strong support team. Ooh, I've got a mythical. And guess what? Hierophant Lazarius, he can do a lot of damage. A heck of a lot of damage. Fantastic. And he has, look at this, a juicy 25% ally speed in all battles aura. This is the best speed aura for this game mode. Okay, I can put together a pretty good team. So I can have Lazarius. That's really nice. That's a very top tier mythical with a brilliant aura. I could put in a Sifi and a Yumiko. I could build Sifi in my fastest gear, lock him out with Yumiko, and because I've got this speed aura, it's quite decent. Now, they could potentially stop it if they've got, if they have a 6-star, which unfortunately for me at the high end they will have, right? They could have a 6-star Temporal Chains Blessing and push my turn meter back and potentially cut in, but this could potentially be pretty strong. So I could put in Lazarius, Sifi, and Yumiko, and like that's already a very good team. And then I could put in like an Armans just to really be a pain in the butt. Hang on, where is it going? I could put in an Armans, and there you go. So priority, I'd say that's pretty high. Oh, I broke the formatting on this. Woe is me. Let's put in, there we go, Armans. Fantastic. So I could again, we could color code this, and I'll leave this stuff up to you. This is just an idea. You can do it as you wish, but I'd say that's pretty poor. I'd say like this is pretty high priority. Like that's looking pretty good. I'm thinking my support champion defense is actually pretty strong. So yeah, this is sort of some of the ways you can look at it. Mythicals are an absolute game changer for this as well, guys. So something I've noticed. So for instance, Fralny, he is an HP nuker. He becomes extremely strong when you are limited to just HP champions. So here's the thing. When you're limited to defense champions, he's also a defense champ. So he can do both. Much like Lazarius lets me sneak an attack champion into the support-only section, Fralny lets me sneak a HP nuker into the defense-only section, etc. So you can really set up some sneaky things with these. And yeah, your faction-specific stuff is going to have a large impact as well. So I mean, for me, let's take a quick gander. I would say, for instance, for me, dwarves were likely to be pretty strong. So yeah, in fact, I might actually, you know what? I will do a full video on this, maybe tomorrow or Saturday, going through every single thing. Let's build up every single one of these teams for me. Let's build up each different alliance. Let's build up each different HP, each different type of champion. How about limited to just voids, just force, all of this. Bannerlords, we'll do it for each faction. Let's do a whole deep dive video building up every team. But like I'm thinking dwarf, I'm actually lacking quite a few dwarves. But I mean, I can put this in with just like a Fralny and a Goffred, and it's already decent. It's a pity we don't have a Molly. That'd be quite nice. But you know, we could maybe build quite an obnoxious team. We'd probably put in Brogni as well. And maybe the Trunda, just like with crazy gear. I don't know. That could work. Senna would be pretty good. But I could get it with Fralny. And Fralny is going to be an MVP for that faction for me. So I could probably do a good team. So this is, I think, what you want to do is find your best ones. Communicate with your clan. Because I can like instantly come in right now. And I can say, guys, so I've got Lazarius. I can build a really good Lizardman team. I've got Fralny. I can do a good Dwarf team. But Bannerlords, no Taras Marishka, stay away. Somebody else in the clan can have that dubious honor. But yeah, guys, listen, there we go. First look at this and what you want to do. Take your time. Take your time here. Again, I would really communicate with your clan. Think about it over the next while. Do we want to set up individual bonuses in all of the different towers and perhaps set up some bonuses on some of the posts as well? You won't be able to do them all, but do we set up some of those, or do we try to get the bonus up in our stronghold first? That's a tough question. That's a tough question. I am leaning towards the stronghold one myself, but that's for more high end stuff. Where those, I quite like this reflect damage one, but maybe I'm really overestimating it. But definitely wait and definitely prioritize these buildings first. I would probably be maxing out the defenses in all of these, and then probably like over here on this side, and yeah, etc. You get the gist, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and yeah, let me know what you think of the first look at this mode. I think it's really like there's as much there as you want to put time into, really. Like you can spend a ton of time strategizing. It's going to be a learning process, you know, getting through the first couple of these, we'll figure out a lot. But it's definitely a learning process. Should be fun. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.